What is going on, guys? VenomousFatman here, ShiftedT.com, Out Loud Media, and I'm here with a special guest who really needs no introduction, especially at this convention with as many people flocking over to him as possible, but introduce yourself.
Who needs no introduction but introduce yourself? Hello, I'm J. Michael Tatum, and I'm not as big of a deal as he thinks. But that's fine. We're not telling anyone. It's great. I want him to be, I want him to keep the illusion.
So yeah. But anyway, we're at Florida Supercon, you just had your signing, you're hanging out, you got some panels lined up at some point, What's going through your head, how you enjoying the convention?
I love it. I mean, conventions are really, the best part of what I get to do for a living, as much fun as it is to do voices in a booth, a padded room with a mic in front of you. It just sounds kind of crazy now that I look at it that way. But getting to travel and come to meet, fans, because I'm a total fan. I'm a total fanboy for anime and for, pop culture, some comics, all of it. I have been all my life. And so now, I not only get to come to conventions and meet people, but I get to go to conventions and then, they want me to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
I get brought here, and it's fun. I get to hobnob with people that I idolize.
Awesome.
So I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm trying really hard not to explode with joy. Right
so speaking of being a fan, you do a bunch of stuff in regards to anime. You do the voice of Black Butler, Talia, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yes.
You do podcasts, which I listen to, which is amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
There's a whole bunch of cool stuff. So how do you kind of manage and keep up doing all this stuff? Because a lot of people, they hardly ever even get to do one or two things, and yet you're doing a bunch. It's like you're an anime or an otaku renaissance. That's just what it's like.
Oh, well, I love it. Well, I guess it kind of that happened of necessity. In order for me to make a living doing what I love, I have to end up wearing a lot of hats. And so one thing just sort of was an outgrowth of another, and so on and so forth, until I found myself doing so many things, spinning so many plates at once, that I realized, this is kind of the best way to go about it. I loved, I started doing the acting, I loved it, but it wasn't something I could support myself doing. And then when I was given the chance to direct, I thought, well, yeah, let's do that, because, that's another source of income. But it also helped me hone my skills as an actor, because getting to sit on that side of the process was a totally new experience, and it gave me a totally fresh perspective on the craft of acting. And so both began to really inform the other. And then when writing out, grew from that, I just came one thing after another, and suddenly I was like, it all kind of, to me, it sounds like a lot of stuff, I guess, and to hear you list it like that, I'm like, wow, I do a lot of things.
It's a lot of things.
But the truth is, I think it's so much a part of who I am now that I don't think of it as separate things. I think they're all sort of just aspects of the same passion that I love it. To be in the studio for 4 or 5 hours, recording, and then coming home and writing an adaptation, for another 4 or 5 hours, and then going and working for that anime show, the podcast I do with my good friend Terry Doty. It's just who I am. I can't imagine not doing that many things. I really can't.
That's really cool. So let's talk about Black Butler. I'm a fan. Everybody here is a fan. You got Black Butler 2, obviously second season. Whole bunch of stuff going on. Tell us, what did you bring with you, or what was your mindset when actually doing the voiceovers for Black Butler? What was the difficulties? What is it that you loved about it?
Well, I love it because I love. It's got one of my favorite sort of mythical themes in just anything, and it's the sort of the Faustian pact, the making the deal with the devil. I love that idea. There's a lot of drama kind of inherent in that idea, so I was attracted to that. From a recording perspective, one of the more interesting things about it was the fact that I finally got to use what actually comes very natural to me, is my British accent. And the reason I say that is because, and not a lot of people know this, I suppose, but when I was a child, for a very long time, I never spoke because I had such a debilitating speech impediment. I really did. It just went on for years and years and years. And I had a speech therapist for about 5 or 6 years who was this 1,000-year-old British lady.
Wow.
She was tiny, very, very British. So everything sort of came out like this, and the rain in Spain falls mainly in the plains and all that. And so the way I learned to talk, really, for the first time, was with an accent. And so it was kind of natural. And for a long time, especially when playing certain characters, like when I would record Kyoya in Oron High School Host Club,
that's another big one.
Which is one of my big roles there that I love doing. There were times when Caitlin Glass, the show's director, would have to say, "Sweetie, that sounds a little too British. Can you scale back the British a little bit?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry," because I would tend to fall into the accent. And so the one thing about Black Butler that I loved the most was, for once, my tendency to sound British is not a handicap. It's called for it. So it was awesome.
That's really cool. So again, coming up to closing right now, if there's one thing you have to say to all your fans, everybody who loves your work, Foreign High School Host Club, you know, Black Butler, Talia, everything, podcast, everything that you've done, what would you tell them?
I come back to this all the time. The only thing I know to say is just thank you. I wish there were better words, but that's the only way I know how to encapsulate how intensely grateful I am to get to do what I do for a living. And I wouldn't be able to do it if it weren't for the support of all you awesome people. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Awesome. So really, it's a pleasure. You know, everybody, big fan of yours. Amazing, great work, great stuff. Keep doing you. Keep staying out there.
Thank you. Thank
so
you.
We will be back with some more coverage here from Florida Supercon. So for me, Mr. Tatum, we'll talk to you guys again soon. Peace out. Stay out.